You guess? Because I know we're beginning.
Guess.
You guess? Mr. I don't want Apu in the fucking Simpsons anymore.
I never said
I
that.
don't give a fuck. That's
You
what you
totally
said. That's
did.
exactly what you said, you edgy fuck.
Kyle was just like, okay, so you're sitting there falling asleep, and you're like, you know what? I get it. I don't want Apu in the show anymore.
Dude, I don't
Fucking-
even watch Simpsons, so I don't have a legitimate opinion on it.
Yeah. Like
I don't
five,
watch
mi-
The Simpsons
5
either.
minutes ago, you were like, "Oh man, I'm like the biggest fan of The Simpsons." Now I fucking don't
Okay,
watch it.
realistically,
Smart, please.
if there's one character that shouldn't be in the show, it's Homer, because he is the most offensive character in the show.
He is the stereo. That's why this is stupid. It's because the show is built on the characters, but the characters are further purposely stereotyped.
Hello, guys and gals, me Mutahar, and as you can hear, that was Jordan in the background. We've got Kyle and Amaru over here. Say hi, Amaru.
Hi.
Yes, or just say "Hola," man. Whatever your language will.
I don't
like.
know.
Anyway.
I don't know. I am pretty angry right now.
All right.
Anger
So
Gary.
as you can see, me and my friends are on a podcast right now. I didn't know how to start this, so you just heard the storm, the calm before the storm, I guess. So we're gonna let the whole conversation play out even further and just sort of go in. The whole topic for today is the Simpsons negating my Indian boy Apu, the Quickie Mart owner. That's not just the only topic. It's one of many, but continue on, guys. Go ahead. And Mario was pretty heated. Let's see why you're angry.
Well, it just goes to the single thing that I have a strong belief that comedy is our way of coping with reality, touching subjects that are a little too edgy to touch on, censoring our words, changing everything. That doesn't matter in comedy. That's why we got people like Daniel Tosh or our boy Beanie Favorito.
Oh my God, Vinny, bro, dude!
Vinny, dude.
When I go to Las Vegas again, I'm gonna show Vinny all the fucking love we have for him. I bet you we're his only biggest fans too. That's the fucked up part.
Now you have most of the memorable comedy characters, cartoons or whatever. They have funny voices, they have accents and whatever. But we don't care about that.
You
we care
mean
because
like
they're
this?
funny
They have accents
And
like
we-
this?
because they're funny, the accent I have. Come on,
You don't have an accent.
but shut up.
Go ahead.
But then we got people who apparently get pissed off at cartoons, and now apparently it's been confirmed that thanks to a boy who made a goddamn documentary about a cartoon character's voice, now that character that's been on TV for 31 fucking years is getting dropped.
Yeah. So
Now-
first off, I'm Indian, and I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the whole name. What is it? Hari who?
Apu Nasahama Patil or
Okay,
something
just
like that.
actually Google it. I mean, fuck's sake, man. Come on, let's be on top of our game.
Yeah, hang on.
Hari Kandabolu created a documentary, and this originally I thought this was like a joke. Like I thought like Mr. Medicare made a fucking joke or something, and it was a meme that stuck. But I don't even think Medicare talked about it. But anyways, he made this documentary on like how Apu is a negative stereotype and he shouldn't be a thing in The Simpsons anymore. Basically using really liner points like, it's used for bullying and all that kind of stuff, which, by the way, growing up, I've never been referenced in Close to Apu by any means. It's never happened. So my experience with bullying, your experience may vary. It's like that, game experience may change during online play type bullshit. So I've never experienced it myself, but I will agree that there is an aspect of that. Very liner points like, the accent and all that stupid shit. But he basically refused to look at the character itself. He looked at the outer, basically, the racial characteristics and, the accent, obviously, and said, this is why this is a harmful stereotype for American TV, which at the same time, we've had plenty of Indian stereotypes on multiple forms of animation or TV, and this is the one that's being called out. And at the end of the day, am I against stereotypes? Absolutely not. Living an actual life, I've noticed that there are stereotypes that are pretty fucking real, but at the same time, also living a full life, I realize that stereotypes are also pretty minuscule. And they're there for a reason, but not everyone is like a fucking stereotype. Just saying.
The thing is that we are all individuals. We are our own people. You can choose to see us as an accent, as a color. It's whatever. You can choose to do that, which it's wrong. Come on. but you don't take the time to see the guy in between. Now, speaking with someone who actually grew up watching The Simpsons, even though I know that shit should have ended like fucking 15 to 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I never felt any moment where I was like, oh fuck, I can't believe this character, they're doing this to this poor country. You know who Apu is? He's a store owner, a business owner, he's a doctor, he's a Casanova, he's a firefighter, he's a bunch of things. He's a bunch of things. Where do you see the negative stereotype? To see an accent and not to see the guy in behind. There is a multitude of characters there. They're all different characters.
Yeah, like I was gonna bring up, if you didn't, it was like it's present in every single one of the characters that aren't meant to be the Caucasian stereotype, you know. Like we saw that, you know, they've literally had a bowling team, which I thought was funny, called the Stereotypes, right? There's a fucking sailor, an Irishman, a Mexican, I think.
Why is it that everyone but Apu are safe from this?
The thing is, like, dude, I'm from Latin America, dude. Should I boycott? Should I make a fucking 3-hour documentary about how Bumblebee affects me and I can't sleep at night because like,
yeah, man.
What? So should we take Nelson because of bullying? Should we take Homer or Barney because of drunkenness? Should we take Snake because of crime? Come on. Okay,
so from my experience on any of this kind of subject, I'm actually just shocked why no one else is really being brought up into this situation, right? Because I think that because we just refreshed ourselves with this stuff, by the way. When we looked at all the other characters on The Simpsons, they were stereotypes as well, right? You had a Scott stereotype, you had the Christian stereotype. Why weren't they removed as well, too?
The reason why is because you can't be racist towards whites.
But that doesn't...
That's the problem. That's the problem.
I don't want to get into that aspect.
Though?
I want to stay...
But here's the thing, though, and we're going to keep this very brief because this is a fucking bad...
This is a fucking powder keg, dude. This is a powder
keg, but here's the problem. It's that this person who brought up this issue with Apu...
Right. Hari.
I almost guarantee you that if you were to ask him, can you be racist towards a white person? He would say no. Because that is what a lot of that side of type of people tend to think. They think, okay, you can be racist. There's white privilege, but you can't be racist towards towards
okay, but
whites.
like, what is white privilege when you're in fucking the rural depths of Romania or some bullshit? That's like as third world as you can get.
White.
I'm just saying.
You're still white.
I'm not here to offend anyone that watches me from Romania.
They don't care. If your skin is white, you're white.
Here's a question. By now, isn't the idea of saying that every white person has white privilege almost a little bit racist?
Yes. I think
I don't think it's racist as much as it is fucking just... I wouldn't.
It's presuming that we have that. That
I think privilege is more. I think privilege is more so to do with like economic statuses of people, right? Like more so.
Okay, so would it be more stereotype than race?
What do you mean? White privilege?
White privilege, would it be more stereotype?
I would actually think so, yeah, because a lot of people stereotype can come in true right over here. It's a very popular sort of Indian or Asian stereotype. People who come from sort of poorer places, they put white people at like the richest center of the world, sort of, right? Like the richest cultural and like economic center. It's a very real thing. Like if you go to India, a lot of people will try to like make their skin whiter to the fucking extent, right? Just to appeal as much as they can to the Caucasian groups that we have. And that's a big fucking stereotype. I wouldn't say that's so racist as much as it is just appealing to a fucking stereotype. White people are not fucking perfect. There's rich white people, there's poor white people, there's all in between. I think when you look at like things like white privilege, I think it's retarded to say because you're blanketing all like white people in a fucking bubble where like everything's all perfect for them, right? Not everything's perfect for everyone, dude. You know how many fucking white people exist in the world? You know how many fucking Indian people exist in the world? There's like 1 billion or something of them, and there's like so many different variants of Indian people too. Like there's so many, like you have to look at a person as a person. This whole privilege shit is retarded because you look at a thing like privilege and you know, it doesn't matter about your race. It matters about the activities and the actions you've performed in your life that give you privilege or they don't, right? And I think privilege is a fucking
it's the way that you act.
Exactly.
Something you earn.
You know,
You
when you
win
look,
that shit.
you know, when you look at like white privilege, right? It like to me it assumes that every white guy is like, or every white girl is like fucking educated, or they have like a fucking degree, they have like a great job. No, that's not true. Look at an Indian person; they're not always all the time educated. You have plenty of us that are like fucking stupid as shit, and you have plenty of us that have like doctorate degrees. It depends on the individual, right? Some of us are rich, some of us don't have fucking money, and the same thing goes for any white person that I've fucking met. I grew up with, I guess you could say, predominantly white community. So I guess I got to see, I didn't have this white privilege thing in my head. I knew that every kid that I grew up with was pretty much on the same footing as me. You know, if like my parents and their parents, they all hung out like normal fucking people. And, you know, my dad was like the most Indian fucking guy you could meet. He still is. He has a whole accent and everything. So when I hear this whole accent is offensive, you got to hear my dad. He might be as educated as they come, but some things you can't rub off. Sorry, Dad, you still got the accent, but I still love you. Don't worry about that. But we still used to grow up hanging out just fine. So when I grow up in like 20s and I hear this whole white privilege shit and like white people should feel guilty and they shouldn't be considered against, I'm like, why? I grew up where they were normal people like me and everyone else. We had black kids, we had Asian kids, we had me, I say me because I was quite honestly the only Indian kid at the school, but we had everyone growing up together, and none of us, I guess, growing up, at least from that school or that community, ever thought differently of one another because of race. And so we never thought that one or another person was privileged. We were all the fucking same kind of people. If anything, it reinforced the belief that in order to be a person that is deserving of privilege or things, you have to earn it, right? And that's what we all did. You know, we earned it, my friends earned it, and that's what it comes down to. It matters on your action, not so much your fucking racial background. You know, this isn't as simple and cut dry as that.
And of course, there are situations where people are going to be idiots to you because of your color. But that's when
absolutely.
you got to step up for yourself and you just choose. Is this guy going to dictate how I'm going to feel? No, not at all. It's like, it's easy as that. Come on.
Kids nowadays, what's the first thing they do when they're met with resistance? When they're met with somebody that's just a little bit rude?
They
break down. Right? Yeah. They shut down. They don't know how to handle that. It's like sending a kid into a freaking office, like your office. Okay, I assume that you've got some pretty hard deadlines, do you not?
I have, my whole job is deadlines, yeah.
Exactly. A kid comes into your freaking office and you tell him, okay, you got 2 weeks. 2 weeks are up. He doesn't have the product, and
no, they're gone. They're fired.
You yell at them, or
you don't have it a week and a half. You don't have it a week before it's due. Then you're fucking gone. I'm just saying.
Like legitimately, a kid comes into anybody. If they come into my job and they do that kind of stuff, they can't deal with the pressure of anything. That's the problem today. Kids, or people in general, they don't know how to stand up for themselves because they expect everybody to be this nice person. They expect to get the participation trophy.
Yeah.
I think the weirdest part about this is that the dude who brought the attention to the problem, Hari, he was a fan of The Simpsons. And then he just goes like what is there, like, did he mention that there was like a specific thing that happened?
I would like to think
it's just kind of a documentary piece from what I remember. I saw like a bit of it.
Considering everything, like from what I saw in that, and just I don't know. I kind of feel like he's trying to make a name for himself off of it.
I feel like it is. Yeah, there's definitely a name being made.
The name that everyone's going to fucking hate, dude.
Like, I legitimately feel like he's trying to make a name for himself, and by doing that, he decided to attack something that was popular, that would gather headlines.
How can you be a fucking comedian and be offended by that? This isn't when you look at that Apu shit. When you look at that Apu shit, though, the Apu stuff, it's not like it's some fucking Ku Klux Klan heavy shit that's being thrown against Indian people. It's not. I'm fucking Indian. I was never offended by fucking Apu. I was never offended by anything that any Indian stereotype. Okay, yeah, there are some stereotypes that, you know, you can't get away with, but like me, I was never fucking offended. If anything, I'm shocked to see that a person who makes their living bringing humor to almost everyone under the sun, and don't get me wrong, like, this guy's not giving you this fucking Blue's Clues level humor. He's obviously picking on race and all these existential factors. There's no fucking way you can be a comedian and go against the shit. You know how many times I crack fucking race jokes? I'm not even a comedian myself, but that happens just fucking naturally in this situation. How are you a comedian and not have the self-awareness to realize what you just did is fucking stupid.
Yep.
Like,
That's the thing, man. You are a fucking comedian. You are a comedian. How could you do this to comedy?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, even late night talk show hosts have said this. It is impossible to do comedy in this day and age because of the way things are, because of all this. You have to be politically correct and all this other stuff. It is impossible to be a comedian. You are either Daniel Tosh and you don't give a shit about what you say, or you are the most crowd pandering babyface.
that was the point of
SJW
watching
comedian.
somebody like that, man. Like,
Exactly.
The thing of
That's
that is
just
like,
it. There's
what do you-
no
what-
in between nowadays.
what's the message? What's the message you want to give? That you can't have fucking people from other countries in your show? Is that what I'm supposed to get? Then
I think the reality is what I think that went on in their head is that there are a lot of people who grow up and they have the bullying towards them, right? And
Yep.
I don't deny the fact that Hari had some bullying when he was growing up because of his background, sure. And so the problem with that is somebody gets so fucking, like, I guess, traumatized by that scenario that they kind of spend a good chunk forgetting the fact of, you know, what their fucking cultural heritage is and try so desperately to blank that out. And they want all the portrayals of their kind to be as whitewashed, I guess, is the best way to say it, right? And this is a big thing that I'm against, right? I mean, obviously, when you talk to me, would you guys, if we were on like a Discord call, you guys didn't see my face or anything, what would your first impression of me be? Would it be Indian guy or what? It would
Depends. Are you speaking first?
No. I'm not speaking my native tongue. I'm speaking first, yeah, but in English like this.
I mean,
I
if I were to think about it, I generally don't associate I don't associate like skin color or race with a voice.
just think about
I,
this.
I hear your
Well,
voice.
in
I think,
mannerisms,
okay,
it's fine,
Muda.
in like mannerisms or whatever.
Oh,
Think
if
about
you're-
this.
if you're
You
going
guys think? You
What would
guys
you
think we
say?
all would have been? You guys think if you would have been friends if there were any barriers because of that?
So in other words, if we would have instead of meeting on the internet, if we would have met in person, would things have changed?
It comes down to like if we were willing to talk to each other. Okay, I'll admit there's an aspect. If we were at a bar, would I have went up and sat next to Kyle and been like, "Howdy there, partner"? I don't think I would have, and I don't think Kyle would have done the same thing to me either.
This
But-
is the Red
Probably
Dead
not.
2 bar, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It could be any
We're
bar.
in
You
the
don't go to a
fucking-
bar
we're in
and
the
say
fucking
howdy.
saloon.
Come on, you don't go into a bar and say howdy,
I say
partner.
howdy to people. I don't say howdy, partner. I don't
You
feel
don't-
like
you
10
don't-
gallon hat.
You don't walk
lady-
into a bar, pull up your pants, and go howdy, neighbors. I'll have the
No.
finest whiskey.
Hot
I go
doodly
to
day,
I
neighbor.
go to the saloons and just tilt my hat on my lady.
Exactly. But like,
What is
it?
I guess that when you put it that way, Imaru, yeah, I don't think me and Kyle would immediately have gotten up and started talking. But I guess it's kind of a weird scenario, right? I don't know. But I feel
It's
like
circumstance.
in that situation, if me and Kyle, we had some gay moment where like he dropped his wallet and I picked it up and put it down, it would have been like, damn, son, you got a nice wallet. I think we could play off each other for like 5 minutes and probably become friends afterwards. I mean, we're like-minded,
You
we
weren't
think
watching-
the same.
You weren't watching the wallet. Let's be honest.
I was watching that lumberjack PP, but you get the point, right? You understand. I think the same thing would have happened to Kyle. If I dropped my wallet, you would have picked it up and given back to him. I'd been like, "Oh my god, thank you very much," and then Kyle would have been like, "Wow, that's mighty."
I mean,
Okay,
generally
that's-
speaking, here's the thing.
I would have asked if you work for the IRS.
I am not I'm not a sociable person.
Right.
I was gonna say,
But
Uh,
the fact of the matter remains, if I'm at a bar with somebody, and if I'm at a bar, like let's say I go to the freaking bar alone, Mood is there. Normally speaking, here in Minnesota, the bars are packed. We're one of the highest drinking states in America. And his was the only spot. His spot next to him was the only one open. I'll go over there and sit down. I'll strike up
Why-
a conversation.
Why only Muda there? Why not me? You racist.
Because you're in Latin America, you ain't coming up here.
Ooh.
Oh,
you better get a ticket.
Just remember, Trump wall's going up.
oh yeah, but I'm going there legally, boy.
Oh damn.
He's part of the
That's a
caravan.
first. Mark that.
God damn it.
That's entirely we're gonna
Son of a bitch.
Oh,
fucking
fucking hell, Mark. Oh my god. But now moving on to the point that I had, just sorry to cut you off there, Mark, but moving on to the point that I had over there was that like suck a dick.
Because I'm Latin, right?
Yeah, exactly. But basically, the problem is with like Hari is that like as growing up, he's tried to make himself look so generic, right, without that identity that like I think there's a problem when you see somebody that has the accent, seeing somebody that is more stereotypical or culturally attuned. I don't believe in that like losing your culture shit. It's why when you hear me off of camera or whatever, these guys know that I'm pretty fucking Indian. I speak very fluently. I speak it more often than you guys would think. I practice a lot of Indian cultural norms, but you know, I think the problem is that these people are so scared of their fucking culture that like seeing it represented, even if it is, yeah, a bit stereotypical, is offensive to them, and they want to like completely eliminate that from the fucking world. It sickens me to see that that's a case scenario, but that to me, that's what it appears to be, right? These people are like culturally forgetting who the fuck they really are, right? And I guess that's offensive in a way to say it, right? Maybe somebody wants to completely abandon their culture. I guess that's fucking fine and dandy. But to me, I'm like, I'm sitting there. I'm like, why is Apu so necessarily bad? As an Indian person, I know plenty of guys like Apu, dude. I can go to my 7-Eleven right now and I'll tell you there's plenty of fucking Apus existing in the world. Are they bad people? Or you know, is it offending me that Simpsons is? I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, I don't care. It's not offensive enough for me to like go off on a bitch fit about it. I'm not so insensitive that I'm gonna cry fucking everything on it. And don't get me wrong, you guys would be like, Muda, you've never been bullied for it. No, I've been bullied for plenty of things. Don't get me wrong. I've been bullied for being Indian. That is a fact. But I've learned how to counter my bullying, okay? And that's exactly, if somebody's gonna make fun of me on my race, I'll make fun of you right back, okay? Simple as that. I've learned to become educated on my stances on it. But yeah, that's just my argument
gets
on
bullied for everything. That's the thing.
Well, if they weren't going to bully me for being Indian, they'd bully me for some other stupid shit. Bullies come up with anything.
Actually,
they bullied me because I watched Power Rangers when I was 9. It's like, what?
Dude, if they...
Yeah, nowadays, in the way the world is with the political correctness, the bullies are more now than ever a minority. Now more than ever, bullies are a minority, and the people that will stand up to said bullies.
No, dude, bullies aren't a fucking minority. It's the fucking people. No, it's the fucking the people that are getting rid of Apu. Those are the fucking bullies. The bullies just change their clothing to that.
The reason why I say the bullies are a minority. Let's say a bully is bullying a kid at school.
Yeah.
And something happens, and it goes to the principal.
Mm-hmm.
The kid, the SJW kid, ain't going nowhere. That bully, he's either being put on suspension or he's being expelled.
Yo, but that's good if you're bullying kids. Yeah, you deserve to get an ISS, man.
You deserve to be.
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The entire world revolves around these SJW kids who won't stand up for themselves.
Oh, I was just saying SJWs are fucking bullies.
You also have to bring to attention the fact that how bullying even came to be. I mean, normally when it comes to a bully, it's like the environment that they're in.
Oh yeah, nature versus nurture shit.
Yep, I agree.
Well, it's because even bullies have big-ass problems on their own, so you just got to offset shit out on other kids. It's stupid to do. Yeah, it's the cheap thing to do, but that's exactly what it comes down to. I mean, this is just a whole different scenario. It goes far beyond Apu into the whole bullying thing. What I think the original point, and I think the real meat and potatoes of this whole argument is that this kind of shit shouldn't really be removed in the first place. I think this documentary piece that was made covering a Simpsons character that had a lot more depth than I originally ever thought is just plain offensive to not just Indian people in America, but Indian people all over in the world. Like, who the fuck are you to speak on behalf of every fucking Indian guy out there, okay? Just because you had one terrible fucking experience doesn't mean you start writing characters out of fucking shows. It's before we had this discussion, I made this point. I was like, let's say me and Kyle were on some fucking cop show, right? We were on there. And I was the Indian guy, and Kyle was the white guy, obviously. But I was the bad cop, and Kyle was the good cop. The problem here is these guys made a great point. if I was the bad guy, they'd say, "Wow, Muta's the Indian guy, therefore they made him the bad guy." Flip those roles around, then it wouldn't be. Then it would be anti-SJWs getting fucking pissed because they made Kyle a bad guy, but they made me a good guy. You can't win with anyone in this scenario, and unfortunately, the fucked up world we live in is only deteriorating further when it comes to that. You can't make a joke anymore, dude. I can sit on streams. Years ago, I could make a simple fucking joke. Nowadays, I have to walk on a bit of eggshells, and it's sad to do that. It's sad to say, but to see people get offended so fucking easily is it's just I don't know. I just don't agree with it. I just don't like.
I mean, to be fair, anybody who's attended my streams, they know that I'm pretty liberal when it comes to what I say. So there are times I let stuff slip. Hopefully it doesn't ever make it out to anybody, but I mean, I've kind of gotten to the point where I've accepted the fact that I have certain fans. I'm not appealing to the SJW crowd. I'm not gonna. I will censor myself to an extent. I'm not gonna go and say like truly horrendous things, but I
think when you
let something slip.
I think when you can't make a joke about certain things or certain people, that's offensive more than the worst joke possible said against those people, because it means that you devalue those that you wouldn't make. You don't think of them as equal footing people to you. You're just out there to like segregate people. This is the worst thing ever. It's segregation is what it is, right? Like where everyone is in their own fucking bubble. We can't get along with one another because you can't fucking make a joke nowadays because people get fucking angry for the stupidest reason. And
it's censorship of comedy.
Yeah. It's censorship of comedy, and it's segregation between people that honestly shouldn't ever be segregated with. We live in an age where, like, it's not 100 years ago where people, you couldn't see other, like, people of different races and ethnicities and cultures. Everyone knows everyone now. I'm sorry to say, dude, we live in such an age right now where artificial intelligences are finding fucking like cultures that haven't even touched technology yet. Dude, do you realize how advanced we are? And as advanced we get, the more and more repressed we become, because fucking babies can't handle simple banter, simple jokes, simple things. And I get it. Okay, it's not simple to everyone. I understand. There's some people who've been traumatized by AP or traumatized by anything. Dude, some people have probably been traumatized by fucking Kumar getting high on the movie, saying, well, they must think all Indian people get high. Not all Indian people get high. Hey, I might enjoy a couple of marijuana once in a while, but not every Indian person does. Want to know why? Because we're all individual fucking people, okay? We all have our individual thought processes.
At the end of the day, we're all people.
Yeah, we're all fucking exactly. That's why this community gets along with you. That's why me and fucking Kyle and Amaru and Jordan get along with each other. We're from different fucking parts of the world. Jordan's from fucking Ohio. Kyle's from fucking Minnesota. I'm from fucking Canada, Toronto. Imaru's from fucking South. What cartel country are you from?
Argentina.
Okay.
Dude, he means Brazil.
Imaru's from from a rich G20 nation, Argentina, and we all get along just fucking fine. I gotta make that joke.
I'm gonna make a documentary called "The Problem with Amaru."
Oh no.
At the end of the day, I mean, if you think about it, we're all just people. It's like Barney used to say, guys. It's like Barney used to say.
You are not fucking. Go ahead.
Everybody is different, and that's what makes you special.
I love you.
Man, Barney for president. That he just hit the fucking point there, right there.
Everybody is different, and that's what
fucking Barney lesson has more sense than this motherfucker.
A Barney.
I don't know, man. I put Mr. Rogers up for president, dude. That motherfucker knows how to tie a mean set of shoelaces.
Mr. Rogers was a fucking.
He's Jesus. He's Jesus. He's the actual
man.
Jesus.
That man is the nicest person. He was so nice, people couldn't give him interviews.
But he was fictional
because he was more interested in the interviewer than he was in talking about himself. That's how much of a saint this dude was.
I will fly to the Vatican and sanctify that bitch right now.
What the fuck?
Like, legitimately, there was several people who tried giving Mr. Rogers an interview, and before Mr. Rogers ever came, like before they ever did the interview, he would ask them who they are, what their interest is, where they wanted to be 5 years from now, all this other stuff. And by the end of the interview, the person would be like, well, shit, I can't use any of this. And then here's the crazy thing. 2 weeks after the interview was done, Mr. Rogers, every single person that ever tried to interview him, he would send them a gift basket with stuff in it and a letter with their name in it. And he literally wrote them out a little like paragraph saying like, oh, it was so nice to spend the day with you. I hope like this went right, and I really hope you get this done. And there was actually times where Mr. Rogers would remember these people's birthdays and would call them on their birthdays.
Howdy, neighbor.
That is the fucking man.
He's the
Mr.
kind of
Rogers
guy that
was.
plays Red Dead Redemption 2 and goes to the church to pray for forgiveness. What the fuck?
He accidentally fires a gun in the air. Oh dear, I must go to church.
This is the guy who plays GTA, beats the game without firing a gun.
No, dude, even better. He actually follows traffic laws and apologizes to people. He's playing the first mission where Franklin has to repo a car. He's like, sorry, neighbor. Sorry, neighbor. I didn't mean to shoot you, neighbor.
What did Jesus do? He turned water into wine? Come on, dude. Fred
What a
Rogers.
simple person.
Yeah, dude. Alcohol, ew.
Dude,
Yeah, dude.
fucking-
Let's ban alcohol, dude. It's offensive. It's promoting
Yeah,
stereotypes.
exactly. Alcohol is offensive. Fuck.
Yeah, that's
Buddha-
it,
Buddha,
dude.
They tried that. They tried that
Yeah,
once. It did not.
well, you know
well.
what? We can always retry it again.
We're save scum in this bitch.
Could you imagine how terrible fucking life would be right now, especially in the world we live in, if we didn't have Uncle Daniels to help us through it? Fuck, man.